Hello, this is just a video on how I'm heating my greenhouse. It's a 8 by 10 made by a Israeli company, Palram. Um, it's just a little overview of what all I got going here. I kind of got late, started late this season. So I grabbed some old seeds. Some were doing well, some are not. Um, so basically, I have some power run down here. I'm kind of far away from the house, so I've got some 12 gauge extension cords coming down from an outlet in the patio. Um, my basic heat is just a basic milk house heater, 1500 watts. It also has a 750 setting. But what I have is a thermostat outlet that I can set the heat um, for the heater to kick on at a minimum temperature. I also have some grow lights. They're LED. Altogether, it's only about 32 watts. I'd rather have some strip lights, but I had a couple bulbs and I had these heat lamps already, so I just put those to use. I'll probably next year I'll get some strip lamps as I go along, because they're just easier and they won't be in the way as much. And then for that, I just have a Harbor Freight timer here, so they come on about 5 in the afternoon and go off at 9. The wiring looks a little kind of crazy here, but it's just the heater and the lights, so there's not a whole lot in its 12 gauge extension cords, so it can handle that power pretty well. I have several ways to keep heat in here. This is floor underlayment with a aluminized surface on it and just a little bit of foam on the back side, just to help reflect the heat back in. It's on the north and the west side behind this big compost box. That helps reflect some of the heat back in. On a sunny day, it can get up into the 70s or 80s in here without heat. I've got a compost bin. It's about 6 foot wide and about 20 inches deep and almost 4 foot tall. Right there you can see I got some potatoes going pretty good in there. Those are just some old leftover potatoes. Those weren't actually seed potatoes. They were just some potatoes that started sprouting. I got some charred lettuce, a random tomato plant they got in here somehow, I don't know. A little cilantro. Got some more planted. And then I've got some kale over here, some carrots starting down there, and onions. The beans came up pretty fast and just kind of aren't doing much. But I just planted some peas and hopefully they'll be better. Some of this lettuce up front has taken like 3 weeks to get that tall. Don't know what's going on there. And these two little guys are tomatoes, and they've been like that for 4 weeks. So, got some ferns overwintering and some flowering bushes. This is another setup I've got going. If you've seen the old candle under a flower pot trick, this is kind of a little bit bigger. I've got these burners that I got on Amazon. The biggest I could find alcohol burners. They're 400 milliliters or 14 ounces. They were the biggest ones I could find on Amazon. They're from China. I hate buying China stuff, but I have to say they work very well. They burn for about 7-8 hours. Do not buy glass ones. Ask me how I know. These work great. I've had no problems at them at all. I can put 2 in the bottom down there, and I can heat this stack of blocks up, and it just kind of holds in the heat and radiates it out along with the compost bin. On the south side, to to let some light in down low, I've got bubble wrap to hold in some heat. That seems to help. Right now it's about 25 degrees outside and pretty windy. And the temp, I don't know if you can see that, is about 40 degrees right now. My other heating source right here is I have a 55-gallon drum. I have a bulkhead at the bottom, and there's a hose inside that goes all the way to the bottom of the drum. It's filled with water, and there's about 6 gallons of RV antifreeze in there, so it's not toxic. So this pipe comes out here, runs through here, and I have 2 alcohol burners there, and that water will heat up and it'll start self-circulating. Comes up the back side and comes back in at the top. So that it's also painted black to help gather some heat from the sun. So that'll hold some heat in and release it slowly during the day. So if I have to work during the day, it's releasing some heat in the morning and then getting some more heat. It doesn't heat up a whole lot. I mean, it doesn't get hot, but it does help. And I have made this top for it. So that just kind of radiates some heat back down onto the pipe. What I'm using is ethanol. I'm using E85, and I usually cut that about 20% with alcohol, because the E85 is really cheap. The alcohol is expensive. It burns very clean, but I use the alcohol to kind of, so it leaves less soot on that pipe. That's copper going in. And what that does is, with the E85, I get a little yellow flame so I can see with the alcohol. It's during the daylight, it's very hard to see the flame. It does leave a little soot, but it's not bad. Most of the soot is caught down here. You got to clean the pipe off every couple of uses of the burners. And then this is just, the wood is just that's backer board for tile, and then I put a skim coat of I'm forgetting the name, but it's for fire brick and that kind of stuff. It's what you coat the fire brick with, so it's very heat resistant. It'll stand up to flame. You can see a little bit of the soot there on the side, but that's the bulk of it right there. So just how I'm doing this setup here, it was just kind of done hastily and late in the season, so I don't have as much stuff going as I would like to, and the seeds were kind of old, but I'm pretty happy with this experiment. It's worked out fairly good, and I'm gonna get me some salad tonight to eat with my steak. Got any questions, just ask in the comments. Thanks, guys.